Okay, so some students ask me questions about some problem in section 1.4. So I'm going to work out the questions and try to explain them in detail. So the section 1.4, the equation, the radical equation and equation quadratic in form and factorization uh, technique. Okay, so the example was the following. So we're looking for the solution of 2 times x to the power 2/3 minus 5x to the power 1/3 and minus 3 equal to 0. Okay, so this is a problem. Okay, let me see. Okay, and the suggested u substitution is the following. Let u be x to 1/3. The reason is that x to n over m is x n times 1 over m is x to power 1 over m and then nth power. So this is the general formula. Then back to this problem, x to power 2/3 is equal to x to power 1/3 and then squared. So that's why it is classified in the quadratic form, quadratic inform equation. Okay, so and also x to power 1/3, x to power 1/3 is a cube root of x. It will be used later. And this is a substitution. With this substitution, it becomes 2 times u squared minus 5u minus 3 equal to 0. And then we factor it, so it's 2, 1. We need -5, so we put -3 here and a 1. So 1 times 1 is 1. 2 times -6 is -3 is -6. The sum is -5. And you put u here, so you get 2u plus 1 u minus 3 equal to 0. So 2u plus 1 equal to 0, or u minus 3 equal to 0. So u is -1/2, or u is 3. Okay, this is done for the computation of u. Now let's go back to x. What is the relation between u and x? This is a relation. We're going to use this here. So u is -1/2. U is x to power 1/3. So it means x to power 1/3 is -1/2. So we just directly put it here. And x to power 1/3 based on this is cube root of x is -1/2. And then you put third power on two sides. So cube root and third power, they cancel. So the left hand side becomes x. Right hand side, -1/2 cubed is -1/8. So it means u is -1/2, x is -1/8. This is one solution. The other one, when u is 3, so here and here. When u is 3, so x to power 1/3 is equal to 3. It's also because u and x are related by this relation expression. And cube root of x is 3, and we compute the third power of cube root of x, and right hand side is 3 cubed. So x is 3 cubed is 27. So the solution set is -1/8 and 27. Okay, so whenever you have u, you do not go back to the original equation. You go back to this definition of u. You use x instead of u in this computation and finish the rest of the part. Okay, so that's one problem in the question. There's another problem. It's also in the section 1.4. It's in the radical part. Let me find out the question. The question is example. Solve this one. Square root of 2x plus 3 minus square root of x plus 2 is equal to 2. Solve this. I said that you have 2 square root. It's too complex. So we move 1 square root to the right-hand side. And then we're going to square 2 sides. Remember, we're going to square 2 sides. Because here the left-hand side has square root. So we square 2 sides. We first cube this left square root. Square root of square is 2x plus 3. This is left-hand side. Right-hand side, remember that moment I mentioned one property. You consider this as A, this as B. Then A plus B squared, if you compute, it is A squared plus 2AB plus B squared. Just do the computation term by term. Let me try it. A plus B times A plus B is A times A squared. A times B, AB. B times A, BA. And B times B, B squared. So AB, BA is same, so that's why you have 2AB. So you are going to memorize this as a formula. Okay, so here this is A, this is B. Then you have A squared. So let me write it. A squared. And times 2A and times B and plus B squared. Okay, so it's a term by term application. Okay. And then this, again, square root with a square, you cancel 2 operations, you get x plus 2. And this is 2 times 2 is a 4. So you get the 4 square root of x plus 2, and here's plus 4. Okay, so this is x plus 6. You move x plus 6 to the left-hand side. Okay, x plus 2 plus 4 is x plus 6. Move to the left-hand side is minus x minus 6. So 2x minus x, you get x. 3 minus 6, you get a negative 3. And at this moment, you're going to square it again. You square 2 sides. So the left-hand side, there's a similar formula. Let me write it here. There's a similar formula. A minus b squared is a squared minus 2ab plus b squared. You can do the same computation and verify it. So here, x minus 3. X is a, 3 is b. So it's x squared minus 2ab is minus 6x and plus 3 squared, 9. At this place, you have 4 squared. So here, you have x and y to nth power. It is x to nth power and y to nth power. When you have product take nth power, you need all the factors with nth power. And then you have square root of x plus 2 squared. Square root of x plus 2, you cancel square root with a square operation, you get x plus 2. Okay, so this is 16x plus 32. Let me write one more step. And move them to the left side, you get x squared minus 6 minus 16 squared minus 22x, and 9 minus 32 is a minus 23 equal to 0. And we know that we factor it as x minus 23, x plus 1 equal to 0, right? So that's the reason we get negative 22. So x is 23 or x is negative 1. And then you have to go back to check it. Whenever you have a radical equation, you must verify it. So when x is 23, so you get the square root of 23 times 2 is 46 plus 3 minus 23 plus 2, 25. It's a 49. 46 plus 3, 49. Square root of 49 is 7. Square root of 25 is 5. So good. That's a solution. And 1x is negative 1. X is negative 1. Negative 1 times 2 is negative 2. Plus 3 minus. Negative 1 plus 2 is positive 1. So this is the square root of 1 minus square root of 1 is equal to 0. It's supposed to be 0, not equal to 2. So this is not a solution. So the solution, there's only one solution. Okay, so this is the explanation for the problem. I think during the lecture I didn't mention this clearly. This is a plus b, so a squared plus 2ab plus b squared. You have two formulas, this and this one. They are used here and also here. Okay, so that's the explanation.